Hey y'all, it's Comet here. I'm with Todd, and we're going to talk about barbecue community and food. Let's talk about your time in Texas and Hondo.
Yep.
So you took a trip to get down there. Who did you go with?
I ended up driving down with the Rob Reinhardt of Prairie Spice and Smoke out of Regina. He's Canada's top barbecue competitor.
Now, I remember reading that in the interview that we did a few months ago on my platform.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just you and Todd you and Rob that ended up going?
Yeah, it ended up just being me and him. And in that interview, he was one of the people I dreamt to work with.
I remember seeing that.
So I didn't get to be on his team, but just the fellowship of driving down to Texas with him was amazing. And then I ended up on the same team as him in Memphis, and will be on his team in Texas.
Whose team did you end up on?
I ended up on a gentleman named Javi. Big Hav's Barbecue is his handle. And I was on Team Steer, or Team QC, which stands for Quail Crossing, which is the ranch we were on. So our team was representing the host ranch.
Okay.
And we cooked a full steer.
Javi, isn't he the one who manufactured what the steers are being cooked on?
Yep. He also came up with an easier way to do a saddle cross style cooking. So you'll see the large slabs of meat or pigs on an angle. Remember that at Edmonton? Well, he come up with a way to manipulate those without having to actually lift them up and manually turn them.
Okay.
So it's quite renowned in the open fire.
Because there was that system brought to Smoke in the Valley for the first time last year.
Yep. So Javi worked with a company called Bogline out of London, Ontario, who is Mel Schmiller Jr., Dark Side of the Girls fabricator. So Mel hooked Javi and Bogline up, and they followed Javi's directions on the build. So we knew it would work flawlessly as it did.
And that was a piece of Canadian history that both of us got to be a part of last year.
Yeah, that's 100% true. First full steer ever cooked in Canada in that method. So the open, full body, butterflied, open fire style.
And that was your first introduction to the barbecue culture, was it? Or did you have past experiences, different festivals?
No, that was my first time actually being physically a part of it, even if it was at a spectator level. The stuff I follow is all in the States or Australia, Central, South America. So when I seen that it was ended up in Edmonton, and I seen who was coming in that full steer, I was in regardless. It didn't matter what was happening, short of a few things. That was priority number one, was to get there.
So how did you manage to become one of the main 3 people who managed that steer?
Started out, I guess, through my interactions with Javi online. I've probably chatted with him about 3 years prior. And when he found out I was going to be at that event, he was pretty stoked. And then I reached out to Mel, the organizer, to see if he needed volunteers, and he said yes. So I was there as a volunteer, and then I met up with Javi, and he put me to work and told me that as soon as he found out I was coming, I was going to be helping with the steer. So he already had that plan was in place for me.
Now, from the first time that you worked with him back in Edmonton to your second time being on his team, did he say anything about the growth of how you were cooking?
Just impressed at my focus, I guess. It's very complex, that cook, but at the same time, it's a little slower roll. It's not fast, high-paced fire management. It's a more general fire management skill. But yeah, no, I did well. I was actually invited back to the team again this year. Also on night shift, I did nights, and I had some very experienced people also working nights with me. So
I was curious about the nightlife in a scene like that. I know most festivals can get quite party-like during the nighttime. So how do you stay focused on something so important and not get caught up with the fun?
One, task at hand. Like, we can't mess this up. There's no redo. If you're 18 hours into a cook and you have 4 hours until turn in, that's not the time to find out it's messed up. So The other thing is there was 4 camps, I'll call them, so 4 teams doing overnight cooks. So once the partiers kind of died down, it was very relaxing. We'd come over and we'd all talk to each other and see how the cooks are going and stuff. And it was quiet side of the fire brotherhood, I'd say. I was actually talking to a gentleman from the German team just this past weekend about how awesome that time was.
Do you think the brotherhood is different between different countries? I've personally noticed the Canadian open fire community is super, super close. I'm not very familiar with the other countries' brotherhoods, but I'm wondering if perhaps you would be because you've been traveling with them.
I would say actually it's universal. It's a global family. Brotherhood and sisterhood, I better say that. There's some weapons out there, female pitmasters. But like even just to take it to the most recent one, Memphis in May, where the world came together, everyone was hugging everyone. Even if we didn't speak the same language, we were there for the same reason, for the same purpose. And yeah, that's just fire is love.
I love that. I feel like I did get to experience a little bit of that at Smoke in the Valley in Edmonton there.
Yep.
But I was just curious because in Texas, was that bigger than the Edmonton one?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So it's interesting because live fire has been in Texas forever. That's your enclosed smoker. So you have charcoal or wood fire going in your standard Texas smoker. But open fire south of Texas into Mexico and all the way through Central and South America, as one person told me, it's just cooking. That's how they cook. And that's what Al Fergoni brought up into Texas. He didn't understand the smoker side, so he just did what he does. And then that has caught on. And in the last 9 years, I would say it's skyrocketing right now.
It's a beautiful culture.
It is.
Absolutely beautiful.
It is. And just seeing the family and how everyone comes together and everyone's so excited that you're there. So, and it's not what you're bringing, it's who you are. So that's a nice thing about it. There's no real egos or don't talk to me because I have so many followers. That's left on the phone per se.
So you traveled from Edmonton, you went to Texas, and your next event after that, was that Memphis in May?
Yes, that was Memphis in May.
What did you take away from that event?
The scale of barbecue, the general term barbecue. Memphis in May, I knew of the event. I knew the prestigeness of it, how high it is in people's regard. I see why now. It is literally a championship. The other thing is the depth of it. Like some of these teams are putting $50,000 American into their team. In Texas, we had a 20 by 20 plot, and we had your standard canopy, and we cooked under it. These guys build stores. They build lounges, pubs, like full high-end dining experiences. It's really something else. And the city gathers behind it. I think they said there's 50,000 people come through the gates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Hondo at 2,500.
That's in a couple-day period? Yeah,
it's kind of a couple-day period. Yeah, but they've tapped out over 100,000 in past years. So it's a force. The energy there is something else.
It seems that your journey is just growing and scaling ever since I have gotten to meet you so far.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, actually. I do bring it. I do thank myself for starting my clothing brand, Stickburner Clothing Co. That's what got me out meeting people. A lot of my friends and family on like the Facebook and whatnot thought I cooked and got this championship. We just got 8th place whole hog, Memphis in May, but I said I didn't cook anything that was judged, but I was part of the bigger team. So it's interesting where I'm going with the barbecue thing, and it's based off personality and being authentic, pretty much. And that community will call you out real quick if they see anything other than that.
That's the way to keep you accountable in a true brotherhood.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just it.
And sisterhood, like you said.
And sisterhood, absolutely.
So what do you want for a goal to be for your next big event within this community?
Well, I'm going to Texas with Team Canada, not Team Steer. Mel asked if I would move over, and Javi told me we had a conversation last week, and he said that's where you should be, is on that team. So making that move, obviously, I want to do what we can to win that event. For Stickburner, it won't be the next one, but eventually I want to grow enough, scale up enough that I can actually start sponsoring these events and sponsoring teams. I would love to see Stickburner Clothing on that Texas Open Fire meetup backdrop media wall there. So
I definitely think if you keep progressing the way that you are, you will get there.
Yep. And I know I have a long-term attitude. I'm lucky enough that I have a full-time career, and this is a side hustle that I eventually want to take over as a career. So I think just building those relationships with those epic people and not forcing my product down the throat. I know they've got my support. It's just a matter of when I ask for it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Where does your root of all of this barbecue food and love come from?
That is actually a really good question. I've always liked barbecued food. Anytime we went camping as a little kid, everything was cooked over the fire. Not like traditional, like what I do now with the open fire stuff, but your traditional steaks and hamburgers. And my auntie made biscuits using rocks in a Dutch oven and things of that nature. And then I've always been intrigued with barbecue. Even as a young kid, I would cook a pizza pop on the barbecue. I'd cook what can I use this thing for? And then 2007, I got kind of reintroduced to it in the winter. And then I just went down that rabbit hole and bought myself my first Weber. And then now that barbecue is used more than I'll admit, because it's gas. However, it's convenient and it's right by the door when I walk out the deck. So for those quick cooks, it's perfect.
At least you're always trying to focus on your craft.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But be serious. To start a fire, to let it burn down to coals is all time. Mm-hmm. Right. And I work full-time job, come home, hungry family. So sometimes it's just a quicker route.
So I wanted to ask you about your family presence with barbecue. I noticed that we've had a few conversations and your father's actually been mentioned a couple of times. What's his influence in this for you?
Just the way he cooks. He doesn't follow recipes per se. He stares at the spice cabinet and magic happens. And I cook the same way, very free-willed. If I follow recipes as a general guideline, usually it's like, oh, there's this much of this spice over this spice, which makes it taste like that. That's it. I run with it after that.
You just measure with your heart.
Measure with my heart, exactly. Yeah.
And you and your father, you go hunting, correct?
It's been several years, but yeah, I did a pretty significant hunt with them in October after I met you at Smoke in the Valley.
Tell me about that.
So he reached out and asked if I would help him with what could be his last hunt. He's into his early 70s, walks with a cane, and he got drawn for a moose ticket where in the area I live, Paradise Hill area actually. So I said, yeah, I'll give him a hand, and took a day off work, and we ended up getting a beautiful, I'd say 4-year-old bull moose. Couldn't ask for better meat.
What does moose meat taste like?
If done right, it tastes like beef. So there's no intermuscular fat in it. All the fat's external to the muscles, and you need to remove that fat. It's not like beef or pork where you want that flavor. That's where a lot of the wild taste sits. So that remove that, and then I found this year using the open fire coals, just over coals method, just nice and slow. I'm making some amazing, tender, juicy moose roasts and steaks. Oh, wow.
That would be delicious.
So that's taking the techniques I've learned in the last year or so and then applying them to this animal. Typically, we've always just ground it up or overcooked a roast in the oven kind of thing.
Now, with all the techniques that you have learned in this past year, what has been your favorite animal to cook open fire style?
Oh, that's a good question. Really depends on the cut. I had an absolute blast doing boneless chicken thighs for tacos the other night, actually Tuesday night. So first night I cooked after coming home from Memphis. I challenged myself with some freshwater fish, open fire, which came out amazing. I made skewers with northern pike, and I put slabs of pickerel down right on the grate above the coals, and my dad said that pickerel is absolutely perfect.
Oh, wow.
So I like kind of that challenge, because we eat a lot of fish, but it seems to be battered or fried, so deep fried. So I'd try something different, and so far it's been good.
Is there an animal that you want to try that you haven't gotten to yet?
Rabbit, and I've got 3 of them in my freezer right now.
Oh, wow. So very soon.
Yeah, my cousin raises meat rabbit, so.
Where do you see Stickburner Clothing in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
In 2 years, I would like it to become somewhat of a commonality amongst the open fire community, people wearing it. And then 5 years out, I'd like to start sponsoring, giving decent sponsors. And then that long-term goal is I'm a force. I have Stickburner Clothing comp teams. I'm premier sponsor at certain events, just to give back to the community. Another thing with Stickburner is, ironically, today is May 22nd, my cousin Cole's birthday. And sadly, we lost Cole several years ago to suicide. And I actually want to develop a line called Cousin Cole, C-O-A-L, because I see Cole as the cousin of wood, and want to, all proceeds from his birthday to the weekend after July long, for the shirts of that year, go to men's mental health. So that is a goal. I'm hoping to get that stood up next year.
Condolences to you and your family there.
Thank you. But he was a fireman. He was awesome. So why not use that to help others? Because I know that's what he would have wanted. So
there's so much you could really do with that idea.
Yeah.
It's beautiful how you're blending your current journey with things that you've been through, and you're just making it even more beautiful.
I'm trying to, yeah. We're a brand for the people. Like I said in my interview, it's not a swag. This isn't a sidebar off something else. It's a standalone brand for the lover of cooking outdoors with open fire, live fire, charcoal. You just throw away that electrical cord and gas, essentially.
Now, before sitting here with you today, I went through the interview that I did with you online, and you had talked a lot about your mentors and your idols. You've met those goals. You've been able to work with these people and travel with these people. What can you tell the audience or the community about when you get there? How do you remain humble in those scenarios when you're like right beside your mentors?
Barbecue, skateboarding, art, whatever it is, when you meet your mentors, be humble. They're people too, especially if everyone came from somewhere. Everyone grew from nothing, right? But also be respectful of their journey. And I'd say I witnessed something this weekend. Listen. When one of those people are talking, listen. Right, that's an opportunity. And when I sat down across the table from Al Fergoni the first time, he had just introduced himself as Al, and then someone mentioned tying a pig, and then he just started spitting knowledge. And half my brain was fanboying, and the other half was telling the first half to shut up and listen. Right, so I think that's probably the number one thing: is be humble, be authentic, and just listen.
I think a lot of people forget about what you've already said. They're people too.
They are people too. I seen up and coming person, Pitmaster, come in, and they were very, very excited to meet these people. And by the end of the day, they were cooking with them. Right. So
it's a beautiful experience.
It is. Literally living my dreams. The people I looked up to in the barbecue world are now my friends. I messaged them. What's going on? How was your Tuesday?
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday.
Christmas. Yeah. It's nuts, right? It's absolutely nuts. So
that's good.
Yeah. And one of them being Mel, who's just down the street, and the friendship that's been formed is crazy to think. in September, I reached out to him and asked if he needed a volunteer. And I think that's kind of what sparked it. Is I wasn't looking for anything from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the other thing. Don't look for something from these people. Just be you.
Mm-hmm.
And
just be a part of the journey.
Just be a part of their journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know with my clothing down at Memphis, I wasn't there for Stickburner. I was there for Dark Side of the Grill, and I walked in wearing a Dark Side of the Grill shirt. I didn't take very much Stickburner content because, again, Stickburner wasn't there. And the way I see it is those folks see that, and that means they're probably going to support me that much more. I'm not trying to jump in front of their camera, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Or standing behind going, hey, Stickburner, Stickburner.
Trying to photobomb all the content that's going on.
There's people who do that, right? So, and they get flushed out pretty quick.
Well, I think the fact that you were able to travel with your idols says a lot about your path and your journey. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Haley.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about here today?
Well, I guess I got a discount code until the end of the month. Not sure when you're going to play this.
It's okay.
Okay. Stickburner Clothing in honor of Memphis in May and us being on the grounds have a discount code MIM26 for 10% off everything store-wide till the end of May. And I'm currently doing a giveaway for Stickburner Clothing customers. I have a $100 Visa credit card to give away at the end of May. To enter in that, throw on your Stickburner clothing you've purchased, send a picture in. If you're barbecuing wearing it, that's 2. All I ask is you tag me and use the hashtag Stickburner thank you. And if you haven't got Stickburner gear yet, you can still get in. Send me the order number after you purchase something and your name is in automatically. So, and we're giving $100 cash effectively in a credit card because that's what people need. They don't need store credit. They don't need more free spices. They need groceries. So $100.
I love that.
Will come to someone.
You're definitely thinking of the community. I love that.
Yeah, that's my point.
Okay. Well, awesome. I appreciate you giving me the time to sit down with you today.
And I appreciate you giving me the time to talk, which is something I love to do.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Haley.